facing the police every single day.
About a peaceful situation, how did they
Update on that security guard who was shot and killed by a police officer. The mayhem unfolded at a bar in South Suburban Robbins early Sunday morning.
WGN's Patrick Elwood is live in Robbins this afternoon, where a vigil is planned for just a short time from now. Pat?
Ben and Loris, good afternoon to you as state police step in to start investigating what happened here. One of the big questions to that investigation, how did responding officers mistake that security guard working inside the club trying to bring about a peaceful situation? How did they mistake him for the suspect?
Jamel Robertson was working as a security guard at this Robbins bar when several men got into a fight in the early morning hours of yesterday. One of them went outside, returned, and started shooting. As Robertson was attempting to apprehend the shooter, 911 was called. Neighboring suburban officers from Midlothian arrived. Adam Harris was outside when those officers arrived. He says people outside the club tried to tell them Robertson was armed and using a bulletproof vest as a security guard. He was one of the good guys.
We all yelled, he's a security, and without giving any thought, they shot him. The vest said security as well. The vest said security. On the front? Yes. Clearly said security, and they shot him in the side.
A talented musician, Robertson grew up in the church, playing and performing. He was preparing for a career in law enforcement.
He was preparing for the next police exam. They are just distraught. They are hurt, trying to find out answers, trying to figure out why did this have to happen.
According to the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office, he died from multiple gunshot wounds. That vigil is slated to start at 4:30. We'll give you more coming up in our 6 o'clock hour. For now, reporting from Robbins, Patrick Elwood, WGN News. Guys, back to you in the studio.
Hero security guard stops mass shooting and is killed by cops who showed up after it was over. A Hero security guard stopped a mass shooting with his legal gun, saving an untold number of lives, and was holding the suspect at gunpoint when police showed up and killed him. By Matt Agarist, November 13, 2018. Robbins, Illinois. Early Sunday morning, a tragedy took place in Illinois after a Hero security guard stopped what was quickly becoming a deadly mass shooting, only to be shot by police moments later. Jamel Robertson, 26, was working security at Manny's Blue Room Sunday morning when his heroism got him killed. The incident began after multiple individuals were asked to leave the bar for being unruly. Witnesses say all the men left and then returned, and one came back in with a gun, opening fire into the bar. As everyone else ran for cover, Robertson, according to witnesses, engaged the shooter with his own gun. Robertson then apprehended one of the men involved in the shooting and held him at gunpoint as the police showed up. 4 people had been shot, but thanks to Robertson, no one else was hit, and those 4 people were transported to a local hospital and treated for their injuries. Sadly, Robertson would not be so lucky. At around 4 a.m., police officers from multiple suburban departments responded to the call of shots fired. When they arrived, Robertson was holding one of the men on the ground so he could be apprehended by police. He had somebody on the ground with his knee in back, with his gun in his back like, "Don't move," witness Adam Harris said. Everybody was screaming out, he was a security guard, and they basically saw a black man with a gun and killed him, witness Harris tells WGN-TV. Robertson, who was licensed to carry a firearm and is a father of a 9-month-old boy, saved an untold number of lives that night, only to be gunned down shortly after. A Midlothian officer encountered a subject with a gun and was involved in an officer-involved shooting. The subject the officer shot was later pronounced deceased at an area hospital, Chief Daniel Delaney of the Midlothian Police Department said in a statement. Adding to the irresponsible nature of the shooting is the fact that an attorney for the family noted that Robertson was actually wearing security attire and had a hat on with security emblazoned across the front. According to the AP, charges were pending against the man who investigators believe fired the initial shots during a dispute. His name has yet to be released, and he remained hospitalized Monday, Cook County Sheriff's spokeswoman Sophia Ansari said. As the AP reports, attorney Gregory Cooley's filed a civil rights lawsuit seeking more than $1 million on behalf of Roberson's mother, Beatrice Roberson. He said Jamel Roberson was dressed in black but wearing a hat with the word security when he was shot. Cooley's also echoed witness reports that Roberson was holding down another man outside the bar when the officer arrived and shot him. The Reverend Marvin Hunter said Roberson was an upstanding young man and a promising keyboard player at his and several other area churches. Roberson was trying to get enough money together for a deposit on a new apartment, said Hunter, the great-uncle of Laquan McDonald, a black teenager fatally shot by a white Chicago police officer in a high-profile 2014 case. Roberson also had hopes of someday becoming a police officer, according to his son's mother. The Illinois State Police are now investigating the tragic incident and noted that they would not comment further until the investigation is complete. WGN reported that friends said Roberson was an upstanding guy who had plans to become a police officer. He was also a musician, playing keyboard and drums at several Chicago area churches. Every artist he's ever played for, every musician he's ever sat beside, we're all just broken because we have no answers, the Reverend Patricia Hill from Purpose Church said. He was getting ready to train and do all that stuff, so the very people he wanted to be family with, took his life. Once again, it's the continued narrative that we see of shoot first, ask questions later, the Reverend Eleandra Hill said. Monday night, family and friends held a vigil for Roberson. View image on Twitter. Patrick Elwood. At Patrick Elwood. Family and friends hold a vigil at a Robbins nightclub where a security guard was shot by a Midlothian police officer. What happened and what's next for the cop involved? #ONews at 9 and 10. 18. 7:32 p.m., November 12, 2018 Robbins, Illinois. 15 people are talking about this. Twitter adds info and privacy. This was going to be my baby's first Christmas with his dad and now he's going to miss out on everything, said Avanti Abuz, the mother of Roberson's child. A GoFundMe page has been set up to help cover funeral costs. Click here for more information. This is not the first time this year that cops have shown up to a scene and shot the hero. As TFTP reported in February, as news of the tragic shooting in Parkland, Florida dominated the airwaves, a massive hostage situation which was quickly turning into a mass shooting situation was foiled by a hero in a church. That hero, however, was hospitalized after police showed up to the scene and shot him. The situation was well on its way to becoming one of the deadliest shootings in history as the gunman took over 100 people hostage inside the Faith City Mission Church until Clay Murdoch helped to stop it. Luckily for Murdoch, he was not killed. Roberson was not so lucky.
Hey Sheriff County, this is Sheriff County COPWATCH. I am using any video here with under fair use if you have criticism, reporting, teaching, etc. And please donate. I do not make money from YouTube, and there are different ways to donate in the video links. Thanks.